Since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 until this very day, the State of Israel constantly confronts deadly terror attacks carried out with great brutality by emissaries of Israelis' enemies, brazenly stating from every stage their desire and their mission to harm the existence, sovereignty, and the Jewish character of the State of Israel and the destruction of the Jewish people in the land of Israel and around the world. When unfortunately terrorist attacks occur in Israeli cities, many of you see us, the ZAKA volunteers, on all television channels in the world, running dauntlessly to save the injured and care for the fallen. Seconds after the attack occurs, we are the first to arrive and offer assistance to victims in the field. We are the first to help evacuate the injured to hospitals, and unfortunately, with compassion, piety, and utter dedication, we are the last in the field to gather the bodies of our loved ones, women, men, soldiers, children, the old, the innocent murdered through no fault of their own.
I don't remember ever seeing a disaster scene as shocking as this. The victims were wrapped in talit and tefillin, puddles, rivers of blood, throughout the entire synagogue. Sidurim thrown all over the floor, a sight that we only recognize from the Holocaust.
In recent weeks, the people of Jerusalem and Israel have been experiencing a cruel wave of terror and violence that targets innocent civilians who are simply walking the streets of our city or riding our buses. ZAKA volunteers and their chairman, Yehuda Meshi Zahav, are amongst the first on every scene, saving lives and taking care of those who have been killed with the full respect and dignity that they deserve. As Mayor of Jerusalem, I'm grateful for the important work that ZAKA does for our residents and for our city, especially during these challenging times.
The reality which for decades has left a deep scar in the heart of Israel and the Jewish people around the world continues to harm and threaten Israel and its residents. Terror strikes in Israel, openly encouraged by the leaders of Hamas, Iran, ISIS, and other radical Islamic organizations, enemies of Israel and the West, work openly with determination and tirelessly to destroy the State of Israel. It requires us at ZAKA to always be available, maintain an enormous amount of equipment and personnel, so we may, in times of trouble, rescue, save, and be there for the vulnerable that needs us, whether they be Jews, Christians, or Arabs, wherever they may be.
ZAKA, דמשי זהב ולכל העוסקים במלאכת הקודש הזאת. אתם עשיתם משהו לפני 20 שנה. באותו פיגוע נורא של קו 405, שהידרדר לתהום, אתם הראיתם שעם ישראל לא מדרדר לתהום. אתם הלכתם ועשיתם את אותה מצוות קודש, ואחר כך באין ספור פעמים פעלתם גם לחלץ אנשים שנמצאו בתחתית ההריסות, אנשים שהיו זקוקים ליד מושטת, והיד הזאת הייתה שלכם. אני חושב שאתם הבאתם כבוד עצום למדינת ישראל. גם בהתייצבות הזאת כאן, שעמדנו מול גלי פיגועים נוראים, וכל פעם אזרחי ישראל ואזרחי העולם יכולים לראות את ZAKA שם ברגעים הקשים ביותר. אז אני מבקש להודות לכם וגם להוסיף איזושהי תפילה קטנה. בדרך כלל אתה לא אומר לארגון, אני מקווה שאתם תצטמקו ושלא יהיה צורך בכם. במקרה הזה אני מרשה לעצמי לשאת את התפילה הזאת בידיעה שאתם ואני וכל עם ישראל שותפים לאותה מטרה, שיגיע הנה שלום, שתגיע הנה השלווה, אבל בינתיים טוב לדעת שיש לנו את ZAKA. שאו ברכה.
14 people were killed and 27 injured when an Arab grabbed the steering wheel of a bus and drove it into a ravine. 5 American tourists were among
The ZAKA organization was founded in 1989 by Yehuda Meshi Zahav in the wake of the murderous attack on a bus on the Jerusalem-Tel Aviv road. There, in the Valley of Hell, while rescuing the dead and wounded, Yehuda took the fateful decision that changed his life forever and set the standards for Israeli volunteers who sacrifice their lives while providing first aid during terror attacks, as well as the search and rescue incidents in Israel and around the world.
אבל זק"א במקום שני עם ציון של כמעט 87, זה מעניין.
Today, after more than 25 years of extensive activity, ZAKA has been selected for 3 consecutive years as the most beloved organization in Israel after the IDF.
אבל רק כאשר אני נפגש עם העושים במלאכה, אני מבין את דברי הנביאה שאמרו בהאי משנה, בפרוע פרעות בישראל, בהתנדב עם ברכו אדוני. אני כאן כדי להצדיע לכם, חד משמעית. להצדיע לכם על העשייה, להודות לכם, ואני מקווה שנמשיך להיות לב איתן, לב אחד לכל העם בישראל. תודה רבה לכם.
Following the success of the dedicated and professional ZAKA team providing disaster relief in many countries around the world, such as the World Trade Center disaster in New York on 11 September, the Katrina disaster, the Haiti disaster, the Thailand tsunami, Turkey, Japan, France, Nepal, and many more, ZAKA was awarded certificates of appreciation and official recognition by the United Nations and the U.S. Congress, as well as by many official dignitaries of different countries. The ZAKA team, made up of 10 emergency units, provides response in emergency situations, has about 3,000 volunteers from all over Israel and the world on constant and vigilant alert, ready to act to save lives, evaluate casualties, carry out rescue operations, provide first aid, care for and identify the wounded and the dead, and hold training and education operations and more. Unfortunately, the state of Israel is at the heart of a troubled and volatile region that changes the reality of millions of Jewish, Christians, and Muslim residents every day with no end in sight. As part of ZAKA's preparation for the coming years, ZAKA, with the help of the Jerusalem municipality, is working to establish the Global and Advanced Emergency Center in Jerusalem to provide support both to the residents and to the security forces that have been assisted for years by ZAKA and its volunteers. We would like to invite you to join us to save lives in Israel and to act for a better future of this land.
כעם אחד ולתפארת מדינת ישראל.
Your help and support can change lives in Israel and around the world.